Very quick post-fight review for Saunders versus Munroe Jr. because I've got an early start tomorrow and it's late here in the UK. Billy Joe Saunders outboxes Willie Munroe Jr. to win a unanimous points decision. It wasn't a very good fight. It was quite a dull fight, quite a boring fight. It will be a forgettable fight in time, I'm sure. Two reasons why it was a dull fight. Number one, and I did predict this in the lead up, the styles didn't gel. Two extremely technically minded southpaws who specialise in jab and move and defence and counter punching. Willie Munroe Jr. was the second reason it was a boring fight. You know, he was very, very content to be low volume, to sit on his back foot. You know, very, very, very content to give rounds away, and really didn't come with much of a tactic to win the fight. You know, what was his approach in this fight to knock out Billy Joe Saunders or to win the majority of the rounds? Kind of hard to tell, you know, kind of hard to tell. He looked like a guy who wasn't even trying to win for parts of the fight, and it was frustrating because we know Willie Munroe Jr. is a guy with elements of class, and he actually showed flashes of class in the 11th and 12th rounds of this fight, but it was too little too late, and he spent far too much of the fight content with allowing Billy Joe Saunders to get his work off, content with allowing Billy Joe Saunders to being first in all the exchanges, and you know, content to sort of go through rounds looking like a sparring partner, being frank. Billy Joe Saunders had a lot of advantages in this fight. He looked like the stronger man physically, he looked like the harder puncher physically. He was first in the exchanges, he was the volume puncher, he had the better jab, and he was the one who seemed more content coming forward. One positive, and this is potentially due to the fact he's taken it a bit more seriously and he's in better shape, and he's, you know, with Dominic Ingle, is he didn't seem to fade so badly. You know, it wasn't like he was the Walking Dead for the second half of the fight, and maybe that was Munroe's you know, hope. Maybe Munroe wanted to get to the second half of the fight still in touching distance, and hope that Billy Joe Saunders collapsed and, you know, faded, and that Munroe would be able to come forward and you know, steal rounds from a tired Billy Joe Saunders. But that really didn't happen, and if that was Munroe's plan, it backfired substantially for him in this matchup. Saunders was very, very good from a technical perspective. You know, I'm not going to say it was an electric performance. I'm not going to say he looked devastating, because that would be overstating it, but he was very good from a technical perspective, and we know Billy Joe Saunders, extremely accomplished technician, Olympic amateur pedigree, etc. So that's perhaps not a surprise. Are Golovkin and Canelo going to be sitting there watching this fight, worried about facing Billy Joe Saunders? No. Are they going to be incentivized to face him after that performance? Also no. You know, there's not going to be people at home tweeting Golovkin in their droves saying, you've got to fight Billy Joe Saunders. You know, if you don't fight Billy Joe Saunders, you're ducking him. You know, it wasn't the kind of performance that is going to inspire that kind of confidence. You know, with guys like Billy Joe Saunders and with guys like Willie Munroe Jr., they're in much more entertaining fights when you get the clash of styles. So examples would be Golovkin Munroe Jr. or Billy Joe Saunders versus Eubank Jr. These guys are at their best when they are being the counterpuncher and being the sort of back foot technician against guys who are going to come forward and be relentless and, you know, look to throw power punches against them. That's when the fights become very, very interesting and quite eye-catching. But when you get two of these guys matching up together, you know, often it can lead to a slightly jab affair in the ring, and you know, unfortunately that's what happened tonight. Billy Joe Saunders a deserved winner. Willie Munroe had spells in the fight, he had rounds where he looked capable, but the truth is too many rounds went past where Munroe just didn't do enough to be in the conversation, and Billy Joe Saunders was just the only one you could possibly score the fight to. So in uninspiring fashion, Billy Joe Saunders retains his belt in what I would describe as a clear yet competitive unanimous decision. We know what Billy Joe Saunders is capable of. We know how good he can be technically, but sometimes you kind of want to see a little bit more, I guess. He said after the fight that it wasn't his best performance. He seemed to be blaming it on ring rust, and he gave a lot of credit to Willie Munroe Jr. And to be fair to Saunders, he probably beat a very capable operator in Willie Munroe Jr. And Billy Joe was the one, trying to make a fight of it, trying to force the pace, trying to get on, closer range and trying to be the volume puncher. So you have to give him some credit for that. It would have been very hard to look good against the Willie Munroe Jr. who turned up tonight. But anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Not too much more to say, and as I say, it's getting it late, so we'll keep this one brief. Let me know your thoughts on the matchup, guys. What did you make of it? Leave your comments in the section below. Please hit the thumbs up button, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Many thanks for tuning in.